Hey everyone, good morning. I'm going to get started here in a moment. If you're coming in for the replay, um, we're doing a new session here. We actually didn't get the recording on for the live session, so this will be a little bit abbreviated, but we'll provide all the same information that we did for everyone who attended live. So first of all, let me just rename. So again, I'm Greg Hendrickson. And there we go. So we got that part done. And let's get this screen share going. All right, there we go. So again, this session is for the market opportunity for cancer exercise specialists, both in the cancer prevention market and in the cancer survivor market for those who have gone through cancer treatment and are in recovery and who need some exercise training support. So again, I've been working with Andrea Leonard and the Cancer Exercise Training Institute for about 3 years now. Since 2018 is when we started working together. A little bit about my background. I've had my own marketing agency since 2010. Worked for a Fortune 500 company before that. And over the course of that experience got incredibly unhealthy. So, took some time off after my Fortune 500 stint and worked on my own personal health and lost about 60 pounds, got into a much better physical condition, and really became a proponent of exercise and using exercise as a means to really improve health and just improve overall happiness with life. It's so much easier when you're happy, healthy, and feeling good without a lot of pain and all the aches and pains that go along with, not being in shape and not feeling good. So in working with Andrea, it's been just a pretty amazing adventure to see what she's been able to put together for educating people about cancer and about exercise, about 28 different kinds of cancer, and how to help people navigate through that and get themselves into a healthier state on the other side using exercise and doing that safely. So one of the things that we want to talk about today and build on what Andrea has talked about previously in some of the other free webinars is the specific market opportunity and really the need for your support if you're going to focus on the cancer exercise market, and what that looks like both for the US market, for the global market. If you're in a different country, what is the need and the opportunity for you there, not only to help people, but this is also a great opportunity to create your own income stream, to create a business and to make it worthwhile, both for the people that you serve and for yourself financially. You'll be providing an amazing service. There's people who need it. There's doctors who need it, physical therapists who need it, other trainers who need it, and especially the people who, have either comorbidities or cancer that they're dealing with, and they want your help. So let's just jump in with some of the stats. Again, this is some of the information that we'll go through here is US based, and we'll try and provide some of the international statistics as well. And then as we go through, we've got some slides where I can show you some of the resources that we use for getting the market information so that you can look at different data to help you make decisions for yourself and what you want to do with your own personal business. So 6 in 10 adults in the US have a chronic disease. 4 in 10 have 2 or more. And this we're looking here at comorbidities that we've heard all over the news over the past year with COVID and what that means. Whether it's heart disease, cancer, lung disease, diabetes, obesity, morbid obesity. These are all terms that have come to the forefront and showed just all of us in general, I think, that when you have these conditions, when you're obese, when you're morbidly obese, when you've gotten to the point where that's started to impact you so that you've got diabetes and you've got a diabetes condition, all of those things play a large part in your overall risk for different types of illnesses. And we saw that specifically with COVID. So by providing people with a mechanism to, get more exercise, lose the weight, get their bodies into a better condition, you're providing an amazing service. So what we're going to go through today is looking at specifically the cancer market, both on the prevention side and for those who have been diagnosed and for those who are after, in the condition where they're going, they've already gone through treatment and they're cancer survivors, but dealing with the long-term impacts that everyone's going to face when they go through cancer treatment. The radiation treatments, the chemo treatments, the surgery, all of that is going to have long-lasting impacts for anyone who goes through it. And although exercise can really be a benefit, people are going to have different physical limitations. So being able to help people deal with that and deal with it safely is an incredibly important thing. So if we just look at the numbers, and we're going to look at numbers and then help you start to figure out how you apply these global numbers into something that you can use specifically for you, for your business, where you want to focus, your local market, and figure out how to turn that into an income stream for yourself. So if we just look at the United States market, again, there's 100 million people. If you look at those 1 in 4, or I'm sorry, 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10 adults who have chronic conditions in the US. That number translates to about 100 million adults in the US, where you can help them with cancer prevention. And the reason for talking about cancer prevention with this group is that they're at a much, much higher risk for cancer. Not only cancer, but things like the flu, a COVID infection, etc. They're compromised in many ways from an immune system and health standpoint perspective. And if you can help them to get into better physical condition, use exercise to really increase the health of their bodies, along with diet and nutrition and other factors, that's your market. 100 million people just in the US. If you look at the cancer, exercise and that market from a standpoint of survivors in the United States, that's 17 million people who have been diagnosed in the past and are currently dealing with the impacts of cancer and how that's affecting their lives. And then just looking at 2021. So in 2021, in the United States, 1.9 million people are projected to be diagnosed with different types of cancer. Uh, on the slides here, we've tried to reference on the bottom. So the statistics here are coming from cancer.org. Um, if you want to get the slides, just let us know, and we can make sure to get these over to you as well. So that's a high level perspective of the cancer market in the United States, both for prevention and then also for folks who are going through cancer. If we look at the worldwide picture, just in 2021, there's projected to be 17 million new cases of cancer diagnosed. And to give you a brief breakdown of what this looks like, 9.3 million in Asia, 2.6 million new cancer diagnoses in Western Europe, 2 million in North America, and that number includes Mexico, the US, and Canada. 1.2 million in Central and Eastern Europe, and 1 million in Africa. And this doesn't cover the entire globe, but what we tried to pull out here was just some of the numbers, so you can get an idea of the scale on the different parts of the world, as to where we have really significant issues with the growth of cancer and the number of people who really need help. So again, these statistics are coming from cancer.org. We'll go to the next slide to show you a different picture of some of the same data. So again, same data. This is looking at 2018 statistics, and this will give you a picture. So depending on where you are in the world right now, listening to this webinar, you can get a sense for what the issue is, what the opportunity is, what the need is for your support as a potential cancer exercise specialist in helping people who've been diagnosed with cancer and are dealing with those impacts. So again, what's really interesting to me is the not only the overall number here, but sort of where things are located. So if you look at Asia, this Asia block here, there is a significant number of people who are going to be diagnosed this year. I mean, close to 10 million people. North America's sort of 2 million. Obviously there's larger population there, so the numbers are a little bit different, but just something to think about from the standpoint of what location of the world you're coming from. What's your first language? How can you help people in these different regions once you become educated on how to work with the different types of cancer? There's a huge opportunity worldwide and a huge need for your services. So now, again, I think you've probably seen this statistics a number of times, both in your own research, and then, I know Andrea's gone over this at least a couple times in the presentations that she's done so far. But there are 50 million cancer survivors worldwide at the present time. That number will grow. Some of the good reasons for that are that cancer is becoming more and more manageable. The treatments are getting better. People are, better survival rates in many of the different types of cancer based on the treatments that, oncologists are able to provide. And then also just the fact that more and more people are becoming aware of what to do with diet and exercise to really take themselves into not necessarily a better place, but a healthy place where they can survive for the long term after going through cancer. So again, what we want to provide here today is just a perspective for you. So we've got all these numbers, these statistics. What does this mean for you as a business? What does this mean for you as trying to create your own income stream? So if we look at the number of exercise specialists for cancer that are, basically trained and out in the world, the Cancer Exercise Training Institute over the past 25 years has trained about 14,000 people in cancer exercise specialty training, covering anywhere from 26 to 28 different types of cancer. Andrea and the team have worked really, really hard on the 13th edition of the Cancer Exercise Specialist Training Materials. That's covering 28 types of cancer now, much more detailed. It's got all the latest research in it, and her training tools to help you get familiar with all of these different types of cancer and how to work with the surgeries and the treatments and the impacts that people have after going through different types of cancer. That helps you to address that worldwide problem that we talked about. There are other folks, there are different clinic groups, different organizations that also train people with cancer exercise specialty training. Some of the, Andrea actually provides her course to ACE. There are other groups that are providing cancer exercise training services to different personal training organizations. But as you can see, the Cancer Exercise Training Institute definitely leads the world, and it is a global leader in really training people around the world. So if you take that total group of folks who are trained and able to provide service to this group, and look at the total number of people who need those services. I mean, some will want to want to get involved in more exercise, and some are able to, and some aren't able to. But the total group is 50 million, 20,000 cancer exercise specialists. If you just do the math, that's 2,500 people per cancer exercise specialist if everybody was distributed evenly around the globe. Obviously, that's not the case. But what this tells you is that there is a significant number of people who need your help. You can make a good income on, 200 or 300 people per month in your business with some sort of monthly subscription plan or a membership where you're providing them with exercise training support or training sessions or online training sessions, group training sessions. All of that is potential for you to build from a business perspective. Now take this 2,500, add in the cancer prevention market and all the folks who are at really high risk for cancer, but haven't been diagnosed yet. Then you can take that 2,500, that becomes 10 times that number. So it's 25,000 people where you can potentially, just in your community, really provide a service that's going to be a great help to everyone. So how are folks treated in the marketplace, and how can you get yourself set up as a service provider to the folks who are helping people with cancer? So again, this is a US statistic, but in the United States, there are 1 million doctors, including general practitioners and all of the oncologists and other specialties. So if we look at specifically the oncologists in the US market, there are 13,000 oncologists and there are 1,700 practices across the United States. So for you as a business owner and providing cancer exercise training services, these are the folks that you definitely want to connect with as much as you can. The oncologists are going to need your help for those who have been diagnosed, for the folks they're treating, and then expand beyond that to all of the general practitioners and other specialists who are seeing people who have comorbidities and other chronic disease that puts them at higher risk for cancer, and they know they need exercise. That's the million doctor market there. So you connecting with the oncologists in your community, with the doctors in the community, and helping them with exercise prescription is a huge service that you can provide. And again, we aren't going to go into detail on this today, but for your local market, you can find all of the oncologists, you can find all of the practices, within your state, within your region, within your country, and start to connect with those folks. And those are folks who are going to be able to give you customers or help you connect with customers who need your help. Again, this, at the bottom here is the link for the statistics behind this. And we'll go over some of those stats so that you can do your own research as you think about your own business. So another interesting point about the whole medical community, 50% or more of not only the general practitioners, but the oncologists, they know that they need to tell people to exercise more. So those who actually provide exercise prescriptions and provide specific programming, that's 50% or less of that total number. So by you inserting yourself or introducing yourself to the medical community, and especially the medical community in your area, you can look at this. There's probably a 50% opportunity for you if you've got 10 doctors in your general area. 5 of them are going to need your support to really provide specialized exercise programming when it comes to someone with cancer or even chronic disease. There's an opportunity for you to really help them because they're focused on the medical side of things. They're not focused on taking that outside into an exercise program and specifically prescribing something for someone. How much should you do cardio? What weight training should you do? How much weight training should you do? What should you stay away from? They can provide some of the general parameters for a patient or a client, but there's a huge opportunity for you to help them take that next step into what they really do and how they do it safely. So the question is people take the cancer exercise specialist training for a number of different reasons. So, some folks want to get educated for themselves, for a family member. And so that's maybe as far as they want to take it. There are others who really are looking to do this because maybe they've gone through cancer treatment on their own and they want to help others and they're trying to figure out how to do it. That's another scenario that we see often as we deal with people who are taking cancer exercise specialist classes. And then there's folks who definitely want to make it a business and figure out how to create an income stream, either an income stream specifically focused on cancer exercise, or perhaps it's something that you want to add into your existing personal training practice, or something that you want to use to make your services a little bit different than everyone else in your community by providing specific services for the aging population, for those who have gone through cancer, and they know that you have the specialized training to help them and help them safely. So how do you do it? I mean, that's really the question that we're trying to help you answer today. And again, maybe you're just starting. Maybe you're looking at cancer exercise specialist training as a way to add to your existing clients. Maybe you're looking at a new job with a medical facility or a medical clinic or an oncology clinic. Maybe you're looking at the opportunities to do this as a virtual business by using Zoom sessions and doing the marketing to outreach to people maybe outside of your own area, but within a specific um, area that maybe you're interested in. If you've gone through breast cancer, prostate cancer, um, or you've gone through lymphedema, and you want to help people with any of those, um, and do that not only in your region but nationwide and worldwide. There's definitely opportunities, as we've seen with COVID in the past year, for you to do that. Get Zoom sessions going like we're doing right here, right now. Get webinars going. There are a lot of people making a lot of money and creating great income streams for themselves by focusing on providing virtual services. So how do you take the next step? So what I'd like to be able to bring to you today is sort of that marketing outline for you as you think about, okay, I want to make this a new business for myself. I want to expand the business that I have. How do I do it? And how do I do it by focusing on what I can learn from the Cancer Exercise Training Institute? So Andrea's got an amazing program to help you get really educated on the specifics of providing exercise programming. So you'll learn all the technical details for that. That's one part of the overall business equation. If you want to make this into a business, the next piece is how do you create that business structure to make it work? So from just a marketing basic standpoint, you have to select your desired customers. So who do you want to focus on for providing service? A lot of this has to do with your own personal passion, what you've gone through, maybe the research that you undergo to look at, what the need is in your region. Who's providing services and who's not. Maybe people have contacted you for support, and so you're going on that. But part of what you need to do is sort of just do some basic math and figure out how many potential customers that you have or can get, and figure out how to design a service set where you can be a resource for them. The second step is you always have to define your services. So what are you actually going to offer, and how are you going to price it so that you can generate an income with those services? What kind of personal training packages maybe have you used with your business in the past? Creating a cancer exercise specialist set of services includes the same sorts of things. So maybe you've got a membership, a monthly membership. Maybe you have a price for one-time training services, a price for assessments, a price for providing services to the oncology clinics in your region. So we can go over all of those in general today. Again, if you're going through this free webinar series, make sure you take a look at what we're offering in from March 30th through April 29th as far as a live training series where Andrea is going to go through in detail the Cancer Exercise Specialist Training Program, and then I'll be providing 3 3 days on April 7th, 14th, and 21st, where we'll dig into these specific questions here in much, much more detail and help you really think through how to turn this into a business for yourself. So then you have to promote yourself. How are you going to do that? What email lists do you have? What contacts do you have in the medical community? Which physical therapists do you know? How many trainers do you know who train people, but maybe they don't understand how to work with people who have cancer? Can they become resources for referrals for you? What's that total group of connections that you can build to promote yourself and keep that growing, so that you can build more business and more income? And lastly, it's never static. So you always have to keep improving and adapting. Sometimes things work from a business standpoint. Sometimes they don't. You have to adapt. We saw this more than ever last year with COVID and people moving to virtual and gyms closing. And how do you deal with that, and how do you adapt to what's happening to make that work for you and look for the opportunities that are there for you? So one of the things I wanted to provide is for today is part of the process of looking for what your customers are that you want is to look at what's available for you in your region. What do the numbers look like for you in your state, your area? So cancer.org is an amazing resource for um, everything related to figuring out what you may want to focus on in your region. So as an example, they've got statistics on each type of cancer, the numbers for new diagnoses expected in 2021, and that'll help you to get a sense of what's available for you just in your region. As an example here, if you look at California, 187,000 new cancer diagnoses in 2021. 30,000 with breast cancer, 25,000 with prostate cancer, the two most common types of cancer. You can see the same sorts of statistics for all of the different states. Idaho, Indiana, 4,000 prostate cancer diagnoses. Kansas, um, 16,000 new cancer diagnoses in Kansas. So who are the doctors, who are the oncologists that are going to be dealing with these new diagnoses, and how do you get yourself connected with them and start providing the services that all these folks are going to need as they go through their cancer treatments and come out the other side? So again, I'll provide some information here on the statistics that we're looking at and where you can go from a resource standpoint to do your own research. So do your own research and figure out, what are the numbers for your country, for your state, for your city. Cancer.org has got amazing resources, state by state. They've got international resources. So if you're watching this from South America, from Europe, or from Asia, you've got statistics to help you identify, how many people are going to be diagnosed with cancer in your region. And then from that, you can sort of scope out what the math is for yourself and figure out your own personal plan for how you start creating your own services and start reaching out to the folks who are going to be dealing with all those people with the new cancer diagnoses. So cdc.gov, the World Health Organization, this GCO link, go to this link, but they do an amazing job on cancer statistics for the worldwide statistics. So you want to make this a business. What are the services that you can provide as somebody who's going to be specializing in cancer, um, cancer prevention? Um, there's obviously individual training sessions, so we're all familiar with that. There's different pricing. I think people see that there's different pricing by, the region that you're in, sort of the complexity of what you're going to be providing for people. Do you do half-hour sessions, 1-hour sessions, group sessions? There's different pricing for all of those. So there's definitely work for you to do and figuring out what's available in your market, what's the right price, can you make money with that price, how many people do you have to bring into your business to make this into the part-time or full-time income that you want. You can provide sessions with local clinics and physical therapists and other trainers. Those who don't have the expertise that you're going to have to provide exercise training programming for the different types of cancer. So this is another opportunity for you to provide prices and packages that you can offer to clinics and physical therapists. Assessments is another big one that we've seen. So everyone who's gone through a cancer diagnosis and had surgery and is dealing with the after effects, they're going to have different limitations. And so it's really, really, really important for you to be able to assess a person's capabilities and figure out what they can and can't do going forward in a safe manner. Always working with their doctor, especially if someone's gone through cancer, to make sure that they're on a safe exercise regimen that can help them get to the next level in their health. The big opportunity that we've seen across the board is virtual assessments and sessions. So, with the tremendous growth of Zoom and people using Zoom and different mechanisms to communicate with people, FaceTime, other ways to communicate in a virtual manner, you've got the opportunity to provide services that way. Charge for a Zoom session to do an assessment, charge for a Zoom session to do an individual workout, to do a workout with 4 or 5 different people who've signed up. So these are all things as we go through the live training that I can help you figure out for you and your business. So part of what we're going to be providing is one-on-one sessions with everybody who is part of the group, and I can walk through and help you assess your own business and help you figure out a growth plan, whether it's virtual or in your local market, to help you start to get more business. And then lastly, if you go through the training with Andrea and become a cancer exercise specialist, there's a great opportunity for you to train more local professionals. If you're near a large clinic, a large oncology clinic, or there's a medical group that is seeing an influx of cancer patients and they want to provide the exercise services, there are opportunities like this across the country. Andrea is working with some nurses now who are going to be looking at potentially training other nurses and other professionals within larger groups to get the cancer exercise specialist training. So that's another opportunity for you as you go through becoming a cancer exercise specialist. Lastly, you got to promote. This isn't, and if you build it, they will come sort of thing. It's, I think what we found in dealing with cancer exercise specialists over the past 3 years is you do have to get into the mindset of constantly promoting yourself, figuring out new ways to promote yourself, connecting with new doctors, connecting with new local resources, looking at things like, Andrea's got a Be Your Own Author series where, she'll help you create your own branded book on cancer or on lymphedema or on breast cancer that has all of your own personal images, and you are a co-author of a book that you can leave at a doctor's office, you can leave it at a physical therapist's office. Um, you can bring it into the group training sessions in your area where you know that they are dealing with people who have um, um, cancer diagnoses, and they need your support. So you always need to be promoting. Um, I've become a specialist in digital promotion, so that's one of the things that we'll talk about next. And I can certainly help you to take your business to the next level in using digital marketing tools and really building the tools to provide virtual services. That way, the world becomes your oyster. You can provide services worldwide. So when you talk about promotion, I mean, everybody has to start from somewhere. So how many email addresses do you have personally from a business standpoint? How many of those are folks who can be potential clients? What groups are you in online on Facebook, Instagram, um, YouTube? Uh, what other email lists are you a part of? What doctors do you know? How many physical therapists do you know? Who in your network can introduce you to doctors and physical therapists and medical practitioners that can help you tie into the people who are going through cancer treatments? What trainers do you know who have people who are going to be diagnosed in their clientele with cancer, and they need someone with the expertise to help them? Those are all things to get down on paper, start building on, and help turn that into leads that you can make into an income stream for yourself. So again, the power of digital advertising. This is an important tool for you to think about. And how, if you're, I would imagine that most of you understand about Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all these different tools, but the scope and the scale of these platforms is pretty amazing. So there are 2.7 billion people on Facebook, a billion on Instagram. Facebook owns both Facebook and Instagram. There's 2.3 billion on YouTube. So Facebook has an advertising platform that allows you to advertise to those 2.7 plus 1, so 3.7 billion people. Google advertising will allow you to develop advertising for those 2.3 billion people. And again, you don't have to start out with ad budgets of thousands and thousands of dollars. These platforms are designed so you can start out with $5 or $10 or $15 at a time to explore how this is going to work for you, and start to build yourself an online audience and an online group of people where you can start to provide services to. And the point being here is that you can help anywhere in the world with digital promotion and virtual services. So if you decide, for example, to focus on lymphedema or on prostate cancer or on breast cancer, there are ways that we can help you to create digital promotion to connect with people who are in those different categories. There are definitely restrictions with the different advertising platforms, but there are ways to reach out on a very cost-effective way and connect with more people who are going to need your services. And if you're creating a virtual set of services, so that you can provide Zoom sessions, Zoom assessments, email support, maybe connect with an app. There's so many apps out there where you can help people to monitor their exercise. All of those are things that you can do in a virtual sense, provide virtual services and help people with specific types of cancer worldwide. So part of what we'll be doing in the session that's coming up from March 30th to April 29th is really helping you to think through all of this for yourself and then figure out what is the way that you can build a plan to grow your business to where you want it to be. What's the income that you're looking for? What are the specific things and numbers that we can help you put together so that you understand where to focus your time. We all have limited time, so where do you focus your time to get new customers and really become a great resource for both your local community and the community that you focus on online. So again, the free webinars that we're putting together will go through this coming Monday. On Monday, Andrea and I will be together, so be sure to join us for that session where we'll go through some of the details about how you can establish yourself as the local authority in oncology exercise. So we'll go over some of the things that we talked about today. The live training that goes from March 30th to April 29th is a deep dive into the cancer exercise specialist training materials where Andrea provides, I believe, 9 sessions going through all of the training materials. I'll be providing 3 business training sessions on April 7th, 14th, and 21st. And so we'll dig into a lot more detail about how you can use cancer exercise specialist training to grow your own business. And then lastly, part of what we'll do for everyone who goes through that training program is provide some individual session with you. So I'll help you go through an assessment of your own business, and we'll spend some time together specifically on helping you develop your own growth plan using the cancer exercise specialist training. So again, you can get more details about all of this at thecancerspecialist.com, virtual training, 6 free webinars. Just type in this link down below. And if you have any questions about any of the contents here, just email Andrea at thecancerspecialist.com. She and I are both monitoring that. We can get back to you with answers to any of your questions. And we look forward to seeing you on Monday, the March 29th, if you can make it. And we also hope to see you in the live training class as well. So have a happy Friday, and look forward to seeing you again soon.